And the Academy Award for Best Picture.
You're impossible. Come on. La La Land.
He's the best actor. It's not true. He totally wants to sleep with me.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me right now.
Oh, wow!
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Ah, the Oscars. The biggest event in Hollywood where magic and fashion meet in one glorious place.
I love the Oscars. The red carpet, the fashion, all the magic of Hollywood wrapped up in one exciting night.
This is the one event where the industry's finest gather to award the greatest film of the year. Right? I found that the best way to handle filmmakers was to hang medals over them. If I got them cups and awards, they'd kill themselves to produce what I wanted. That's why the Academy Award was created. Hi all, and welcome to the movie corner of the channel. On this channel we aim to talk about art, the artists behind it, and the how and why they make it. For today's video, we're going to be talking about the Oscars, because guess what? They're right around the corner. And we'll be sort of going over the years and asking a question that is probably not relevant to anyone, but I think it's fun. How many years have they actually chosen the Best Picture? Now, this question sort of comes up because, for some quick lore, in the past, in 1999, the movies of that year competing against each other were Shakespeare in Love, Harvey Weinstein, versus Saving Private Ryan, Spielberg.
Don't go in there! Lord, I'm having a heart attack! Damn, this is some scary shit!
I don't know if you know anything about these movies, but on its face, Saving Private Ryan is sort of clearly the better movie. But to make a long story short, Shakespeare in Love was the winner. Crazy. People had to ask why, and the reason was really that Harvey Weinstein invited the voters to his house. He talked them up, he schmoozed them, and really campaigned hard for his movie to win. Whereas Spielberg was unwilling to get into the mud with him and said that, he wanted to let his movie stand on merit. There's nothing wrong with wanting your movie to stand on merit, I commend him, but as we should know nowadays, bribery, or at least not direct bribery, but bribery of any sort, as in, come to my house, let's have parties, a couple of drinks, let me tell you about this amazing film I worked on. Like, that sort of campaigning is how you actually win the award, and there was a lesson for everyone involved. So after this moment, everyone sort of realizes that, you just need to campaign to win the award, and this is how Oscar bait sort of comes about, and people now kind of have less of a focus on quality of choosing the best film, and more a focus on just winning. Funnily enough, the Oscars were not created to pick the best film. They were created to distract them from wanting money. So, I guess this is more in line with the Oscars' inception. Maybe not. Who's to say? But today we're going to be looking back over the years to really ask that question. Perhaps merit can still rise to the top. So maybe Best Pictures have been winning, and even though people aren't focusing on the quality anymore, maybe that's okay. Like I said, maybe the Best Pictures, maybe merit is rising to the top. It's a fun little experiment we're going to try and just go over the years and see if that's right. We don't want to take too much time on this intro because we've got a lot of years to get through. So let's get to it. Our first year, the year 2000, I was like 5. So I did not watch these movies at the time, but I've seen most of them. I will let you know where my biases are because no, I have not seen every single Oscar movie for the past 25 years. I've seen a lot of them, but not all of them. That's crazy. Sort of. So, in 2000, the nominees were American Beauty, Cider House Rules, The Sixth Sense, The Green Mile, and The Insider, with the winner being American Beauty. Now, for those of you who don't know, American Beauty is sort of like a suburb movie, which a lot of movies kind of came out and were sort of the same thing at that time, being suburb movies. And this is where Kevin Spacey falls in love with his teenage daughter's friend. That alone is just disgusting, but let's look at the movie. You know, maybe the movie's told really well, and that's just a disgusting thing we can say happened. I mean, Kevin Spacey alone. But as far as the movie goes, it's not really about anything. I mean, a lot of people try to say, oh, it's about the emptiness of suburbia, or it's about love, or it's about whatever. No one can really define it, and the movie doesn't really define it either. I don't think that movie was very, like, it was fine. It was okay, whatever. It wasn't like that great or anything. It wasn't terrible, just very blah. So, spoilers, I don't think it should have won that year. I don't think it was the best movie that year, because guess what else came out in 1999? We've got a lot of movies that weren't even nominated. You've got like The Matrix, you've got Being John Malkovich, you've got The Blair Witch Project, which I know didn't need to be nominated, but come on, that movie was pretty cool. And I mean, the marketing for it was fantastic. A lot of movies came out that year, like a lot of good movies. A lot of movies we still talk about or watch today came out that year. So I would honestly just give it to The Matrix or Sixth Sense, because they were much better than American Beauty. And I mean, The Matrix, if people didn't know philosophy or sci-fi before, then this movie is sort of like a little primer into the idea of the Matrix and being in a virtual world and all that. And I mean, that's how Keanu got his start. That's why John Wick is a thing. But that aside, the movie was told really well. We still talk about red pill and blue pills today. Like, it's a defining like movie. And it's something that will be remembered for a long time. And if the Oscars is just about picking important films, you know, instead of quality, then The Matrix at least should have been nominated. But as far as the movie itself goes, it's paced very well. You know, the acting's very good. I don't want to get too much into too many details because then I will get stuck on every year for far too long. But 2000 fails. Sorry. There are better choices. Okay, moving on to 2001, we have Chocolat. I probably said that wrong. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Aaron Brockovich, Traffic, and the winner was Gladiator.
Are you not entertained?
Alright, to be honest, out of those movies, I've never seen Traffic, so maybe Traffic was just like this amazing film that would have blown me out of the water. But I mean, Gladiator is awesome. Just straight up, Gladiator is like, it's got enough emotional value, entertainment value, messaging, and it's like all in this little manageable packet. Like, come on. And you know, this line.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Like, the film has just a little bit of everything sort of woven to perfection. Gladiator's awesome. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. 2001. Pass. Alright, for 2002, we have Gosford Park, which I've not seen. In the Bedroom, another I haven't seen. Lord of the Rings, Moulin Rouge. And then, of course, the winner, drumroll, A Beautiful Mind. Another Russell Crowe movie. What's up with this guy? Now, while I haven't seen 2 out of 5 of the films, I can say Beautiful Mind is a pretty good film. You know, it's a biographical story about John Nash, a math genius, and his life. And the movie's not very accurate, but it does say based on, and based does not, I guess, denote the amount of accuracy. If it's only based on 1%, you can still say it's based on it, unfortunately, like the Artemis Fowl movie. It's a brilliant genius dealing with some mental issues, which a genius dealing with mental issues, which we've seen, a bunch of times, but I mean, it still works. Look at Queen's Gambit. It's still a good way to tell the story, and I mean, I don't really have any problems with the film. And as far as quality goes and things that came out that year, I mean, it was pretty good. It's a pass. It's fine. Alright, for 2003 we have Gangs of New York, The Hours, The Pianist, Lord of the Rings 2, the Twin Towers, and Chicago being the ultimate winner. If you don't know, Chicago is about a disgruntled wife, Roxy Hart, who shoots her, I was gonna say mistress, but I guess secret lover, whatever, and is arrested and is now trying to plead her case. In jail, she meets Catherine Zeta-Jones and the other Mary murderesses of the Cook County Jail. The movie, though, or the musical, whatever, is really about just showing Chicago as this place where everything's just a show, even trial. It's all just for the entertainment and star power, and star power is what actually makes you innocent and gets you acquitted and all that stuff. So it's just one big show. So yeah, I do think Chicago is deserving of the title of Best Picture for that year. Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, if any of the Lord of the Rings were gonna win, it really should be that one, but that's not what happened, and we're not here to give 2 things winners. There can only be one, So yeah, Chicago, we're gonna say totally deserving this year. 2003 passes. Next year rolls around, and once again we have Lord of the Rings, this time Return of the King. So we'll see how its luck fares this year. It lost 2 battles in a row, but the Return of the King returns with a vengeance. Also, there was Lost in Translation, Master and Commander, Mystic River, which I have not seen, and Seabiscuits. Kill Bill Volume 1 was not nominated, unfortunately, but what are you gonna do? The winner, of course, or maybe not of course, being Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Wait, The Lord of the Rings, sorry, The Return of the King. There we go. And if you don't know what this is, by the way, don't know how old you are, this is called a DVD. This was the time before Netflix. Third time's a charm, as they say. And honestly, I think Lord of the Rings only won this year because it was the last of the trilogy, and it's kind of like you gotta let one of them win, so this was just sort of like not a participation trophy, what's the word? I don't know, but, it's not really like, oh, you deserve the win, and because you are the best. And like I said already, if any of the Lord of the Rings were gonna win, it should be the second one. I mean, Lord of the Rings 3, what's the common complaint? Why didn't the Eagles just do blah blah blah? And yes, I know Sauron was out there and the Eagles couldn't have been able to get there anyway, and they could have just, the reason they're flying at the end is to show now that the land is free and blah 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 blah, but still, Eagles. Let's just fly there, drop the ring and kind of like a drive-by, and we're done. But it's still a deserving winner for the year, so even though I highly doubt they gave it the victory, because I know Oscar voters do not like fantasy. They like it slightly different to reality because they're, a bunch of cowards. But, whatever. And then they lack imagination. That's fine. Deserving winner. 2004 passes. Alright, with no Lord of the Rings now, we've got an open market. Anything can happen this year. We've got The Aviator, Finding Neverland, Ray, and Sideways, with the winner being $1 Million Baby. And as far as these sort of sports boxing movie stuff kind of goes, yeah, no, I don't think this one was that great. This year fails. Don't really have to think about it, because the best movies weren't even nominated that year. Kill Bill Volume 2, awesome movie. Maybe not an Oscar movie, I guess, but great movie. The one I would have given it to though is The Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. give it to Eternal Sunshine. I mean, who doesn't love a movie about erasing your ex after a messy breakup? You know, I use alcohol. They use a machine, so pretty cool. Anyway, $1 Billion Baby being the winner. 2005 fails. Nope. 2006, and the winner is Crash. Literally anything else. Anything else. Fail. Alright, 2007. And this year we have Babel, The Queen, Letters from Iwo Jima, which I have not seen, but sounds Oscar baity. Like one of those movies you watch once and be like, wow, I had no idea. But, I mean, I haven't seen it, so. And then Little Miss Sunshine, with the winner being The Departed. And, I did enjoy The Departed, but not enough to give it the Best Picture title for that year. And I'm pretty sure that's controversial. But, like, don't get me wrong, it is a good movie, so it's not like a waste of your time to watch, but, yeah, I don't know, I think mostly because of what else came out that year, and because there were some other good options that just didn't get nominated for Best Picture at least, which were like Pan's Labyrinth. We love good Del Toro when he's being weird. We got The Prestige. 2/3 of Casino Royale were pretty good, but since only 2/3, I wouldn't have nominated it. And then of course the movie I think should have won, Children of Men. That movie was fantastic, and if you don't know what Children of Men is, I'll give you a quick little rundown. On the technical side, and spoilers for a 20-year-old movie, don't know if you care about that, there's a scene where a child is being birthed, and it's like one singular shot, and you're kind of like in all this chaos, and you feel the tension of the scene, and it's something I think is pretty impactful and stays with you for years, including, I think I saw that movie maybe not 20, because it came out in 2006, but at least 15 years ago. Yeah, I was high school. Yeah, 15 years ago. So, yeah, it's quite old, but I still vividly remember that child being born. The movie is set in 2027. Crazy, like next year, this movie is happening. But, well, maybe not, because this is a world where everyone's been infertile for 2 decades. So humanity is on the brink of collapse, you know, love a good old dystopia. And Clive Owen is trying to help a refugee escape to find like a group of scientists still trying to fix, you know, the problem, save humanity. That sounds a little familiar. I just can't think of why. I think everything in the movie is great, but the small thing that I think I also really just personally enjoy is that while we have a lot of dystopias that always focus on just, God, this world is just awful, and this is hard, and blah, 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 and people just struggling to survive. I like that this one's still a hopeful story and doesn't just end with, I love Big Brother, which, I mean, that's still a great book, and spoilers for a 77-year-old book in case you care about that. That's the movie that should have won, so sorry, Departed. So 2007 fails. Whew, all right, we are getting up in the years. 2008, the noms were Atonement, Juno, Michael Clayton, which I have not seen, sorry, There Will Be Blood, and No Country for Old Men being the ultimate winner. No Country for Old Men was a good enough movie, especially Javier Bardem as little Bob, you know, very memorable. But I thought There Will Be Blood, dramatic as it was a little better at getting its like actual point across and showing the unrelenting greed and lust for power that drives men to sort of consume everything around them, including themselves, and leave you in a bowling alley with a priest whose head you just bashed in right next to you. Yeah, crazy stuff. I also remember some dick in the industry laughing at me for thinking that the movie was great and deserved Best Picture at the time. These whatever. So, you know, 6 years later, here I am saying, yes, it still deserves Best Picture. Screw you, dude. And while I do love me the tragic musical that is Sweeney Todd and the intense psychological thriller that's Zodiac, I'll say that Best Picture that year should have gone to There Will Be Blood. So 2008 also fails. Sorry. Whew. Wow, there are a lot of years of movies. Yeah, and I guess I've seen a lot in hindsight. But, we get to 2009, and the nominees are, drumroll please, Benjamin Button. No, fail. But let me go through the rest of it. That didn't win, so I can't judge that one. But Frost Nixon, Milk, The Reader, and the winner though is Slumdog Millionaire. And I do like me some Slumdog. Personally, I don't remember Milk or The Reader, which I guess is telling because I have a fairly good memory. And if I can't remember them, I guess they just they didn't leave much of an impact on me, so we're just gonna toss those two out. Frost Nixon was fine, but Slumdog was a very good movie. I was surprised because I actually didn't watch it until years later. And after everyone was talking about it, and they made references on The Office, and then years passed, and then finally I was like, let me watch this movie. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a very good movie. Told very well, paced very well, and the way doing it through like this kind of game show where each question you go through like his past and how he know the answer. I mean, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then of course ending with like a little minor insight into Bollywood with the dancing. I'm like, yeah, I like that movie. But yeah, that movie should be on the list, and I mean, is a deserving winner. However, I would like to point out that the movie that I personally feel should have won this year is something that Oscar voters would never go for because it's just, too scary, too not their tastes, you know? It's something that's just for kids, for children, because this movie is a superhero movie. One of Christopher Nolan's finest films was, of course, The Dark Knight. Yeah, this movie also came out in 2008, so it should have been it could have been nominated, I should say, in 2009. And while I think the movie's messaging is one I don't necessarily agree with, because I mean, it's basically saying we should place all of our burdens and hopes on some rich white guy who's gonna like sacrifice himself and solve everything so we don't have to do anything. And of course the guy who's like saying burn it all down and, you know, promoting chaos is like, you know, humans are terrible, blah blah blah. Like, this guy is crazy and evil. I'm like, I think he's right, but you know, he is going about it a little extreme. But yeah, with that being the message of the film, like, I don't think I necessarily agree with that. But as far as the movie, how it was told, how it was presented, how it was executed, like, this brought like the best that Nolan has to offer all out in this one film. Him saying you have to go to the theater all the time to really enjoy a movie. Like, I remember seeing that movie in IMAX and just feeling like the landscape, like being there. And then of course Heath Ledger, one of the best performances we'll ever see. You know, that Joker defined like so many childhoods and left a huge imprint and really showed like the darker side of just this clown who, before these casual viewers or whatever, people just kind of watching TV and movie Jokers took as like, oh, he's a funny guy with like a little flower that shoots water, like, oh, he's a little ridiculous, whatever. And sure, Nicholson, he's got the crazy eyes, and he kind of gave like a I'm funny crazy kind of performance, but or at least just a different sort of crazy. But Heath Ledger really makes it scary, you know, like he kind of makes it realistic, kind of terrifying. And yeah, that movie was robbed, and it's just such a great shame that the only reason Heath Ledger got any award, the Spirit Award, is because he died. Like, had he lived and survived, I doubt anyone in the Hollywood elite would have even been like, oh, that was a good movie. They would just, you know, turn up their nose and said, whatever, it's a superhero film, we don't look at those. So, yeah. I do love Slumdog, but unfortunately it came out the year of Dark Knight, so Dark Knight should have been nominated, it should have won. 2009 also fails. Alright, we come to the last year for this part of the video, because this is getting a little longer than I expected. I mean, 25 years, I should have expected this. So now that we're finally in 2010, I think this was the year I started actually listing all the movies I've seen in my phone. Yeah, see, all Odie's movies. And I think I was aiming for 100 at the time, or just seeing how, I think that year I wanted to see how many I could do. But yeah, I was aiming for 100. And it wouldn't be though until next year where I started deliberately watching every single Oscar movie. In 2010, the noms were Avatar, like, yeah, no, I don't like that movie at all, so I hate that movie. It's a bad Dances with Wolves, and if we're talking about the little white foreigner guy showing up in some native land and being like, oh wow, these people aren't so bad. Shogun, great book, fantastic book, and their recent miniseries, also fantastic. Did it much better. Did much better than Dances with Wolves, and this is a bad version of Dances with Wolves, which is just sad. We also have The Blind Side, District 9, In Education, Inglourious Bastards, Precious, which I never saw, A Serious Man, Up in the Air, and Up. And as you can see, this list is a little larger than all the other years. They really started just nominating everything. And I think because of that, they actually do capture most of the important films. The overall winner for that year was The Hurt Locker. The Hurt Locker was a fairly good movie. I remember I watched it in my film class in college for the first time, and I had to write a paper on it and really hammer out like the points of the main themes and trying to get into the mind of what it's like to be like on the bomb defusal squad, and just thinking like, if you're going out there, like having to prepare for death every time you go into the field, every time you do your job, I'm like, oof, that's intense. And of course, that kind of feeling is what they're, how they're saying, like, you should vote for this because, like, this is amazing. And I mean, the movie is rewatchable. It's not like one of those annoying preachy movies you watch once, you're like, okay, I get it, slavery bad, ugh. But it is still, yeah, it's pretty heavy, and I do, but yeah, it's still good. You know, it's a pretty good movie, because like it's very intense and psychologically harrowing. I will say though, that year also had some other pretty good movies. District 9 was a fairly ambitious movie, you know, a sort of mockumentary style about like aliens landing in South Africa and then having to experience apartheid. Fun. And I think that movie is kind of funny. It was supposed to be I think Jackson was using the resources first to be a Halo movie, and when that didn't go through, he just reappropriated some of the resources for District 9, which I think is a much better use, because, I mean, a Halo movie is just not going to be, I'm sure people think it'd be great, but no. I don't think so. So, yeah, I think District 9 would have been a pretty good choice if they felt like nominating that, and because it was actually different and it was good. But personally, I will say, Up is a movie that rightfully was on that list, and I mean, I think I would have preferred Up to win, because like any movie that can make you cry in the first 10 minutes is already that, you know, we're done. Movie's best picture, no. But that movie, I know I'm biased towards adventure and stuff like that, so just having this movie kind of go through someone's entire life and, you know, finding this little meet cute and falling in love and having to deal with your like loved one, you know, dying before you do, and then having to live through that, and sort of like this kind of bitterness and aloneness, you now feel like you're kind of left alone in the world. It's like, wow, they did that in like, what, 10-15 minutes? Start of the film? Amazing. Amor tried to do that in like 2 hours, and that movie, God, it was so boring and just, and I do not like that movie. But Up, fantastic film, fantastic kids film. Freaking Pixar, just once again hitting you where it hurts, and recapturing that spirit of adventure. Like, you're never too late to have a new adventure, to go back in life and try something new. It's such a beautiful movie, and yes, I would have personally loved Up to win. That's my personal favorite. But Hurt Locker is also a very good movie. So we will give this year a pass. I just gave you some reasons to say otherwise, but yes, we will give it a pass. Hurt Locker is a deserving winner. Alright, so I just sort of gave you a crash course into a lot of movies and, you know, over the years. And since this video is getting away from me, we're going to pause right there and pick it up in part 2. After this point, I really started watching movies very intentionally and, you know, trying to reach that 100 movies I haven't seen before every single year. And that includes watching, like, the Oscars, usually the Oscar movies, so I could keep up to date and see what they're voting on. But let's do a little tally for how many so far in these past 10 years have passed or failed my little game. So we have 5 passes, 2 of which sort of technical, and 5 failed. So it's basically a 50-50% success rate since the onset of Oscar bait, which is better than I was thinking. In part 2, we are going to finish off the list up to 2025, and since I know those movies a lot more, it should either go quicker because I can be like, that one's better, you know, or maybe it might go a little slower since I might have more to say, but who knows? We'll see. And, you know, if you agree or disagree, feel free to drop something in the comments. And if you're just curious about these movies that I've been talking about, go watch them. There's some good stuff out there, and there's a lot of years of movie history. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.